From Studio A, this is WTAP News at 6.
Work on a new school in Williamstown will start this week. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. Well, turning to the weather first, a day in the 70s. Meteorologist Kirk Greenfield joins us now with the first look at your forecast. Kirk.
It's been warm and humid today, and fortunately no real heavy rain showers, but it is still threatening outside. When we take a look at our current situation, the Jan Dills Marietta Skycam atop the Lafayette Hotel says 76 degrees. Relative humidity an uncomfortable 71%. Winds out of the south at 6, but not a lot of relief. And the barometer has dropped now just below 30 inches of mercury, down to 29.99 and falling still. The radar satellite composite shows there are a couple of showers trying to move into the mid-Ohio Valley, but basically it's just cloud cover that's pushed through. No real heavy storms, at least not yet. The day planner says at 8 o'clock tonight we may see showers. 75 is expected as we start out tomorrow. Mostly cloudy and 70, and by 5 in the afternoon, partly sunny, possibly a storm, and 83 degrees. So a bit warmer and unsettled as well. I'll be back in a few minutes with more on the forecast though, Phyllis.
Thank you, Kirk. Breaking ground at the new Williamstown Elementary School. The ceremony will be Thursday. Principal Heather Mannix-Berharder says the groundbreaking will be at 11 a.m. that day. School administrators and community leaders are going, including the new Wood County School Superintendent. The new Williamstown Elementary School is going to be where the old Fenton Glass used to be located. One of the changes in the new school involves security. The current elementary school is over 110 years old.
People are credentialed before they enter the facility, unlike what we have now where you are greeted at the door by a locked door and you have to be let into the building, but then once you're in the building, it's your responsibility to go and check in.
The new school will have a playground for which Williamstown is accepting public donations. Hino Motors was one of several companies that recently donated $10,000 for the project. A crash involving two cars happens this morning in downtown Parkersburg. It happened about 9:45 at the intersection of 5th and Juliana Streets, involving a Ford F-150 pickup and a Chevy Blazer. Both vehicles had to be towed from the scene, and traffic on both streets was slowed down while crews cleaned up the scene. The names of the drivers have not yet been released. Parkersburg police are investigating the crash. A Wood County man is one of 31 people indicted in a federal multi-state drug investigation that goes back 2 years. Timothy Lowry is among 23 West Virginians and 8 Ohioans named in indictments returned in U.S. District Court in Wheeling. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the alleged conspiracy involved trafficking crystal meth, heroin, and cocaine brought to West Virginia from Columbus. Some of the drugs may have even come from as far away as Atlanta. Among the Ohio residents charged are 6 men and 2 women who are suspected members or associates of a street gang called the Elaine Cripp family. They are charged with conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute controlled substances. You can find the names of all 31 suspects at WTAP.com. U.S. Marshals are continuing to look for 2 of those suspects. They are 29-year-old Cedric Douglas of Groveport, Ohio, and 50-year-old Todd Jones of New Martinsville. Douglas is 5'8" and weighs 170 pounds. He has brown eyes and black hair. Jones is 5'11" and weighs 215 pounds. He has hazel eyes and brown hair. The Marshal's office says both men also have ties to Florida. Call 911 if you think you've seen them. Numerous water pollution control violations are found in a pipeline project in northern West Virginia. Rover Pipeline LLC is constructing a 713-mile pipeline from Michigan through Ohio. It will pass through West Virginia counties like Doddridge, Tyler, and Wetzel. The Division of Environmental Protection found several repeated violations after a series of inspections. The DEP has fined the company more than $430,000. Spills, along with safety and environmental violations, have delayed its construction in parts of Ohio. There might be a change in the fireworks code in the city of Vienna. City Council will have the first reading of a new fireworks code at its council meeting Thursday. The new code limits when they can be set off. You would only be able to use fireworks in the city between noon and 10 p.m. the week of the 4th, from the 1st to the 7th of the month. You could set off fireworks on the 4th for a little bit longer that day, from noon until midnight.
In the past, in our old city ordinance, it was illegal to even possess them. And we're trying to update our city ordinance so it'll mirror the West Virginia State Code. It'll help the police department and the fire department with enforcing, the police department with enforcing the law and make it, I think, a safer environment for the public to utilize fireworks if they want to.
The ordinance will go through its first reading Thursday. If it's approved, it'll go on to another reading. The popular travel site Expedia recognizes a Mid-Ohio Valley city with a high honor. Marietta was selected as one of the most beautiful towns in America. The list looks at places with gorgeous landscapes, bustling downtowns, and plenty of things to do. Most Marietta residents agree it's a great place to live.
It's kind of the perfect blend of like a tourist area and a nice community place.
I was here my entire life. I've never lived anywhere else. It's such a beautiful city and it's such a great place to raise a family.
There's so much history. I think that Marietta really builds on what they have here. They have this little treasure and they really do an excellent job at it.
Marietta business owners hope the recognition helps increase tourism. For more about the list and the other cities on it, go to WTAP.com. After the Supreme Court decision sides with Ohio's methods to purge voters from its rolls, the Washington County Board of Elections explains how they've been instructed to remove voters in recent years. The ruling said that it was lawful for Ohio to remove residents from its voting rolls if they didn't vote in a general election, failed to respond to a notice in the mail, and did not vote for 4 more years. The Washington County BOE says during the 2011, 2013, and 2015 elections, they turned away those voters. The process was put on hold 2 years ago when the case went to the courts. So those individuals had been allowed to vote even if they had been purged from the lists.
So our roll is clean, but from the voters' point of view, what we hear are people who sometimes just don't want to vote. They're not excited about what's on that particular ballot, and so they just don't vote. So we hear it from both ends. The secretary wants to keep the polls or our rolls clean, and yet the voters feel like once they're registered, they should just stay registered.
She says she was advised by the Secretary of State today to take no action until further notice. The Senate Agriculture Committee will vote tomorrow on the 2018 Farm Bill. It's a bipartisan collection of laws and funding to help farmers across the U.S. Today, Ohio Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown introduced several bills to be added to the Farm Bill. He says the bill will help farmers survive difficult seasons to keep bringing food to our tables.
We have a responsibility to help farmers in tough times if prices are low or there's a natural disaster so they don't lose their farms. We have a responsibility to keep the Muskingum River clean and the Ohio River clean by helping farmers adopt best practices.
Senator Brown also says he hopes that the bill will not include any cuts to food stamp benefits. A church and fire department are teaming up this weekend to make sure more homes have smoke alarms. The Parkersburg Fire Department and Trinity Episcopal Church will go door to door Saturday as part of a neighborhood sweep. The groups will be installing smoke alarms for qualified homeowners as well as providing educational materials. Firefighters say smoke detectors can be the tool that stops a fire from becoming deadly. They save lives, prevent injuries, and minimize damage.
When we go into people's homes and put these up, we usually put up, 3 to 5. So we'll have, we can be in over 100 houses this weekend if people are home and available to do that.
We thought that this would be one of the biggest ways to truly make an impact, and potentially save lives.
Parkersburg Fire installed around 500 smoke alarms through its free program last year. Starting next week, bridge inspections may cause minor traffic delays under the Juliana Street Bridge ramps in Parkersburg. The West Virginia Division of Highways says crews will be inspecting the entrance and exit ramps on the Juliana Street Bridge for 2 weeks. It will start Monday, June 18th until Friday, June 29th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Roads under the bridge will remain open to traffic during the inspections, but flagging personnel and signs will guide drivers around the inspection zones. Still ahead, continuing the fight against the opioid epidemic. What's being done on a national and state level? Get the details next at 6.